Let's get one thing straight. Time is the most overlooked asset in the world. People will guard their money, hustle for opportunities, and chase profit like it's gold. But when it comes to time, they give it away like it's endless. They scroll, binge, procrastinate, and then complain they don't have enough time to do what truly matters. But here's the truth. Once time is gone, it's gone forever. You can earn back money. You can bounce back from a bad investment. You can rebuild a business, but you cannot get back time. Every minute that passes is a minute of your life you'll never see again. And yet, most people treat time like a cheap resource. They spend hours on distractions, on people who drain them, and on habits that lead nowhere. Then they say they don't have time to work on their goals, fix their health, or build a better future. But it's not a lack of time, it's a lack of urgency. If you truly understood the value of your time, you'd treat it like treasure. You'd protect it. You'd invest it wisely. You'd spend it on things that matter, on things that move you forward. You wouldn't just hand it away to every request, every notification, every meaningless distraction. You'd understand this. Your time is your life. Every single choice you make about how you use your time is shaping your life. When you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And if you're constantly giving time to what doesn't matter, you're robbing your future. People argue over a few dollars, but waste entire weeks doing things they don't even care about, for people they don't respect, for reasons they won't remember. Those who truly understand the value of time don't just chase success. They build meaningful lives. They build peace. They build freedom. They live on purpose. Why? Because they know time is the container for everything. It's the space where growth happens, where love happens, where change happens. And if you're not being intentional with your time, someone else will be. If you don't plan your day, someone else will fill it. If you don't protect your attention, it'll be taken by distractions that look like opportunities. If you don't decide what matters most, you'll end up wasting time on what matters least. Time doesn't shout when it's wasted. It doesn't ask for your permission before slipping away. It's quiet, it's permanent, and it never returns. The people who win in life aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who respect time the most. They move with intention. They cut out distractions. They act fast, not because they're in a rush, but because they understand the clock is always ticking. Waste $1, you can earn it back. Waste an hour, it's gone. That equation never changes. Before we continue, if you're ready to stop wasting time and start building a life that actually matters, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop the word now in the comments if you're done waiting and ready to use your time with purpose. You've probably heard the phrase, time is money. But the truth is, time is far more valuable than money. You can lose money and get it back. But when you lose time, you lose pieces of your life. You can't rewind. You can't make more. And yet, so many people live like they're rich in time and broke in money, when the truth is, being poor in time is far more dangerous. Here's the harsh reality. You can rebuild your savings, you can recover from a failed investment, but you can't get back your 20s, your 30s, or the last 5 years you spent in a job that drained you. You can't recover the youth you gave away to comfort zones, or the energy you wasted on people who never appreciated you. And that's the hidden cost of time. Poverty, the slow, invisible drain that keeps you stuck. This isn't about hustling every hour or grinding yourself into the ground. It's about being awake, about being intentional, about knowing that every hour you spend is either a step toward the life you want or a step away from it. And here's where most people go wrong. They don't realize that every decision they make is a trade. That hour you spent mindlessly scrolling, it cost you an hour you could have used to build your dream. That conversation you stayed in out of guilt, it robbed you of the energy you needed to work on your purpose. That day you delayed taking action because it wasn't the right time, that might be the day you were supposed to begin something life-changing. The most powerful people aren't the busiest. They're the most deliberate. They don't explain themselves to everyone. They don't give their time to everything. They say no often and with clarity. They protect their energy like it's their most valuable asset. Because it is. They don't rush through life. They just don't waste it. You don't need to be perfect. But you do need to be urgent. You do need to realize that while money can multiply, time only subtracts. And if you treat it casually, you'll look up one day and realize you traded the best years of your life for nothing. So ask yourself, what am I trading my time for? Is it progress? Is it purpose? Is it growth? Or is it noise, distraction, and delay? Because every time you choose not to act, every time you choose to wait for the right time, you're not just postponing progress, you're postponing yourself, your evolution, your fulfillment. And the cost of that delay, it shows up in your peace, your clarity, and your results. Let's talk about one of the biggest lies that keeps people stuck. I'll do it later. That simple phrase has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. It sounds harmless. It sounds logical. But it's a trap, because the truth is, later doesn't always come. You say you'll start that business later. You say you'll fix that habit when life slows down. You say you'll change when the time is right. But what if that moment you're waiting for never arrives? What if later turns into never, and you only realize it when it's too late? Most people aren't struggling because they lack talent. They're stuck because they believe they have more time. They think their future self will suddenly become more focused, more brave, more disciplined. But guess what? If you're not choosing growth now, you're training yourself to delay it. Every day you wait, you're reinforcing the idea that your time doesn't matter, that your vision can sit on the shelf, that your potential can wait. But it can't, because time isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's moving forward with or without you. You don't need more time. You need more urgency, more clarity, more focus. The people who change their lives aren't the ones who had perfect plans. They're the ones who decided to stop waiting. They moved. They stumbled. They learned. But they moved. You need to understand this. Time rewards execution, not intention. Plans are useful, but only if they're followed by action. Dreams are beautiful, but only if they're backed by movement. It's not the big dramatic actions that change your life. It's the small daily choices. The way you start your morning, the way you respond to challenges, the way you spend your in-between time, that's where transformation lives. There are no neutral minutes. Your time is either being invested or wasted. That means every moment is either building something or it's burning something. So the next time you feel like waiting, remind yourself, waiting is a decision. It's not passive, it's a choice. And that choice is shaping your future, whether you see it or not. So many people think success comes from huge changes or major breakthroughs, but real growth, real success, it's built in the small decisions, the daily habits, the way you use the little chunks of time that most people overlook. If you want a better life, you don't need to wait for a new year or a perfect plan. You just need to start making better choices with the time you already have. Start with your mornings. That first hour of the day sets the tone for everything else. If you give it to distractions, scrolling, emails, noise, you start the day on defense. But if you give it to focus, clarity, and intention, you begin with power. You set the rhythm. You take the lead. This doesn't mean you have to do everything. It means you must do the right things. Focus on what actually moves your life forward. Block out time to think, to reflect, to make decisions that matter. Because a lot of people feel overwhelmed, not because they have too much to do, but because they're doing too many things that don't matter. Busyness is not productivity. You can fill your day with tasks and still feel empty. Because unless your effort is aligned with your purpose, it won't create progress. It will create exhaustion. So here's what you do. Start saying no to the things that don't matter. Decline invitations that pull you off course. Stop filling your calendar just to feel busy. Start asking, does this move me closer to who I want to become? Because when your calendar reflects your purpose, your life starts to make sense. And remember, you don't find time, you create it. You create time by cutting distractions. You create time by deciding faster. You create time by being clear about what belongs in your day and what doesn't. You don't need more hours. You need fewer leaks. You need to stop letting your time be drained by habits and patterns that serve no purpose. And you don't have to be perfect. Just be aware. Be awake. Be honest about where your time goes, because when you become intentional with your hours, you take back your power. Let's be real. Your time is only as valuable as your attention. You can have a full day ahead of you, but if your mind is scattered, your time becomes worthless. That's why the real battle isn't with the clock, it's with distraction. In today's world, distraction is everywhere. Notifications, emails, social media, constant demands. It's easy to stay busy while going nowhere. But here's the truth. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is fractured, so is your progress. If your focus is weak, your results will be too. But when you direct your attention with purpose, everything changes. Your work gets deeper. Your results get better. Your life becomes more aligned. You don't need to do 10 things at once. In fact, multitasking is a myth. What you really need is concentration, the kind that makes your minutes work harder for you. Think of your attention like a beam of light. If you spread it across everything, it barely touches anything. But if you narrow it like a laser, it cuts through steel. That's the power of focus. The most successful people don't just manage time, they master attention. They give full presence to the task at hand. When they work, they work. When they rest, they rest. And that presence creates momentum most people never experience because they're too distracted, too reactive, too scattered. So how do you protect your attention? Eliminate multitasking. Choose one task, finish it, then move on. Turn off unnecessary noise. Silence the things that pull you out of the present. Create space for deep work. Block time where you're unreachable. Even 1 hour of undistracted focus can do more than a full day of divided effort. Ask better questions. Why am I doing this? Does it serve my mission or just my ego? Is this urgent or important? Clarity comes from deep thinking. Deep thinking comes from focused time. And focused time creates results that scatterbrained effort never can. You don't need more motivation. You need more concentration. You don't need more goals. You need more execution. And that starts with managing the only thing more precious than time, your attention. Here's the truth. Your life is shaped by what you protect. And if you don't protect your time, everything else falls apart. Not all at once, but slowly, silently. One distraction at a time. One unnecessary yes at a time. Until you look up and realize you've been living by other people's priorities, not your own. That's why boundaries are not about being rude. They're about being free. Free to focus. Free to grow. Free to live in alignment with what matters most. When you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what fuels you. When you stop explaining your priorities to people who don't share your mission, you gain back peace. You take control of your hours. And more importantly, your direction. Success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing. And that means cutting the clutter, the noise, the false urgency. It means scheduling your values, not just your tasks. Because your calendar doesn't lie. It reveals what you truly care about. If there's no space for your health, your family, your goals, they're not your priority. Yet, but the good news, you can change that today. You can stop letting your time drift. You can stop being available to everything. You can stop living in reaction and start designing a life on purpose. Start by asking the real questions. Does this task buy me time or steal it? Does this decision align with who I want to become? Is this just noise or is this legacy building? Because real wealth is time wealth. Time to breathe, time to think, time to love, time to build, time to be fully alive in your own life, not just surviving your schedule. And when you treat your time like the sacred, non-renewable resource it is, something incredible happens. You stop feeling overwhelmed. You stop burning out. You stop running from thing to thing, and you start moving with power. You lead your day. You lead your life. And the world begins to respond to your clarity. So let's end with this. You don't need more hours. You need more ownership. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to protect better. You don't need to say yes to everything. You need to say yes to what matters and no to everything else. Every day is a vote, a choice, a chance. And the most powerful thing you can do is use your time like it counts. Because it does. Now go out there and live like it.